And I know he's really, really passionate about what he does, and he wants to help other people who have emigrated from other countries and relocating somewhere, which is a challenge. So I'm here to do with the interview with Rajiv. And so I understand, Rajiv, that obviously you moved from India to Australia and you had a young family at the time. So I'd love to just talk to you about your experiences. And I know you're really passionate about sharing that with other people and helping other people through that process. So can I just first ask you, how long ago was it that you actually came to Australia?
Well, firstly, let me thank you
Yeah, you're
giving
welcome.
me the opportunity to be here on this show, and also Hilton Bar. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Well, I came to Australia back in 1997 with my family, and when I came here, my wife was then 36, 37 years old. I was 42 years old. My son was 15. My daughter was 13, and we came here with practically no money as such and no jobs.
Okay.
Quite disappointingly, in the same year, we arrived here in May 1997, and I think in January 1997 the government actually stopped giving the social security allowance as well.
Oh,
So we
wow.
yeah, so we were in a situation where we did not have job, we hardly had any money, but it worked out quite well because my sister was living here, so
Oh, okay. So you
we
had
stayed
some
with her.
contact.
So yeah, so we had a
Okay.
little bit of support there.
So can I just take you back for a minute to, before you came to Australia? So what was life like in India before you decided to emigrate? And, why did you want to change your circumstances so drastically? I mean, it's a big step to go to such a different culture.
It was a big step, and many people said to me that why you're going overseas when you're doing so well. So when I was in India, back home in India, I was a civil engineer. My wife was lawyer. She did her actually masters in law, and she was doing
Wow.
quite well back home in India. And both my children were quite intelligent, and then they went to the convent schools back home in India. So we were kind of well settled there, and we were living with my parents. And I always lived with my parents all through my life. So my children were emotionally quite attached to my parents as well. So many people said, why are you going there? And I said, well, I'm living a good life here, but I want to live a great life.
Right.
And that's the only reason I came here.
Wow.
Because I strongly believed that my children and my family, they deserve much more than what I'm offering them back home in India. Hence the reason at the age of 42 it was very hard decision for me to make, because I had to leave my parents, and my
Yeah.
parents back then they were retired. So I was in a situation where I had to take care of my parents, but at the same time I had to look after my family well as well. But I just made that decision. I just believed in myself.
Yeah.
That I can do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a really, big thing, especially with, like you say, you're living with your parents. So to actually, take yourself away from that situation.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I found it hard coming here when, leaving my parents and my in-laws as well. But that was, we didn't live with them, so
Yeah.
it wasn't as big. So, so you made the decision. And you navigated all the red tape and all the things that you had to do to get here, to come to Australia. So what was the biggest challenge you faced when you actually got here?